Hey guys, welcome to Wednesday's video. Today's just going to be I was about to just call it a talking head video, but as you can see, I'm not on the screen. So what would you call this? Today I want to talk about how I make money selling options. I had some comments on my last video. If you haven't seen it, I'll link to it right up here. And asking me how I did it. Well, I know on Wednesdays I go over a lot of my covered call positions, my wheel positions, etc., etc. Well, there's really no new news in that arena today, but if you haven't seen some of those videos, go back and watch that. But these wheels, buy rights, covered calls, they're just a small portion of what I actually do. Now, what I actually do is I sell a lot of cash secured puts or naked puts in Interactive Brokers. And someone asked me, how do I make this? How do I make the profits, right? So, obviously, buy low, sell high, right? But that right there could trip up some new investors going into options, because it's actually backwards when dealing with selling cash secured puts for income. It's actually completely opposite. And it's kind of hard to get your head wrapped around that, because I actually have to sell to establish a position. I have to sell the put to establish the position. And then I have to buy the put back to achieve profit, right? So that's totally backwards. We're used to saying, we have to buy first and sell for profit. When selling cash secured puts, you sell first and then buy for profit. It's totally backwards, and it really messes you up when you're first going into it. That's why I think starting with covered calls is the best way. Like here, for instance, I bought 100 shares of Palantir, and I sold a couple of covered calls against it. Looks like it might be called away this Friday because I have a $23 strike on it. But for the most part, what you'll find when you're selling cash secured puts is something like this. This is how I do it, right? Now, I'm not going to go into how you find stocks to sell cash secured puts on or naked puts on, but I'm just going to give you an example of what I'm talking about here. So on April 1st, toward the close of last week, I sold a $35 strike with an expiration date of April 9th on ticker symbol CWH. That's Camping World. And I sold that for 45 cents per contract, and each contract consists of 100 shares, so that's $45 I collected on one contract. Now I sold that. So what I did was I received the $45, but the $45 cannot be considered profit because you have not locked it in. So it's like receiving $45 up front for the contract, and then when the contract is closed out, that's when you receive your profit. So today, on Tuesday at 11:40, I bought back that contract, and that contract had a worth of 10 cents at the time. So I bought it back for 10 cents. My realized profit on that trade is $34.53. Now, this is what I do 99.9% of the time when talking option income. When I do these covered calls and things, a lot of these are just ancillary positions in my Roth IRA, or with the case of Jets happen to be in my options account. And I did that on purpose. I sold a put to get into the stock, right? So it's really important to remember, when you sell to open a cash secured put, that's not really your position. You don't own that position. Okay? Somebody else owns that position because you sold the option to someone else. So you can think of options as one side of the party having obligations, and the other side of the party, or the transaction, I should say, has rights. So I sold the right on this particular Jets call. Oh, wait, is that a bad? That's a bad one. Let's go back to the Camping World. So when I sold this cash secured put, I sold the right for me to have to buy shares of Camping World on April 9th at $35. So if Camping World were to plummet to $30, I would be obligated to the option buyer to buy shares at $35 and deliver them to them. No, I didn't have to deliver it to them. I just have to buy buy shares at $35. Sorry, I'm thinking off the top of my head here. But so that's what I'm saying. You don't own the position. The contract buyer owns the position. So you have obligations as a seller, just like in anything, and the buyer has rights. The buyer has rights. So if this were to, like I said again, plummet to $30, then I am obligated to buy shares at $35. So that is the risk, if you will. But you can also close out that contract early, dependent upon the time, because the person that bought this contract has we both have a time limit, right? The guy who bought the contract wants these shares to go down. That way he can profit between the difference. So I hope that makes sense. It's really complicated, but if you can get the sell to open and buy to close correct as far as cash secured puts, you'll get ahead of the game. Because the mistake a lot of people make is they think they have to buy this position when they're selling cash secured puts. You're not trying to buy the position on a cash secured put. You want to sell the obligation to someone else. You want to sell that contract to someone else, or sell the right to someone else. And you get paid for that. And, as long as by the time of expiration, the stock is not below the put price that you wrote the contract for, you will get the profit. So you get the premium up front. You can let it expire and keep it all if it's above the $35 strike, or you can buy it back early and take the profit and run. And that's what I did here, because this still had another 3 days left to go. But I didn't want to let the position sit there with 3 days to go to only collect $10 more. This is essentially a 2-day hold, and I made $34.50. I'll take that all day long. So that is how I make money in selling cash secured puts for the most part. I try to do these kind of trades as often as I can. Now, I don't do them on things I do not understand. I don't do them on, meme stocks or high volatility stocks, high IV stocks, as they call it. I don't do them on that. Why? Because I'm in a different boat. There might be some younger people that can take those chances of these high swinging stocks, but I just will not do that. I'd rather take small wins and take small wins more often. So I hope this explained it. I might have screwed up a couple of things. I apologize if I did, but I'm dealing with some internet issues, so I can't be all over the place on my screen and going back and forth to things at the moment. So I hope this helped. If I wasn't clear, let me know. Maybe I'll keep making videos like this that explains what I do a little bit more clearly. So I hope that helped in the cash secured put side. Sell to open, buy to close, and that's how I make profit. So hope you guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye-bye. I am not a financial advisor. The information contained in this video is for entertainment and informational purposes only. It is not intended to be investment advice. Please seek a licensed professional for any investment, tax, or legal advice. Thank you.